Most people think alcohol only affects the body, but what if I told you its real impact is far deeper, hidden in plain sight? The truth is, behind the fleeting pleasures it promises lies a quiet erosion of something far more valuable, your spiritual essence. It's not just about health, it's about clarity, energy, and the silent sabotage of your own connection to yourself. For centuries, ancient traditions have warned about the symbolism of alcohol, but society has turned it into a celebration, a ritual of escape that blinds us to its spiritual effects. This isn't a lecture against enjoying life, it's an invitation to see what's really at stake every time we reach for that harmless drink. So, if you've ever wondered why your inner fire feels dimmer after the party's over, or why peace feels harder to reach, this conversation might change the way you see the glass in your hand, and what you'll discover could be far more liberating than you expect. Many people don't realize that the symbolism of alcohol goes far beyond the bottle in their hand. Its very name, rooted in the Arabic alcohol, carries a story of alchemy and essence. In ancient times, it wasn't just a drink, it was considered a potent symbol of transformation. But, as with any symbol, its meaning depends on how it's used. Here's where things get interesting. Spirituality often treats transformation as a slow, deliberate process, a marathon, not a sprint. But alcohol, when misused, tempts people with a shortcut. It offers a fleeting pleasure, an illusion of transcendence without the real inner work. Imagine trying to climb a mountain, but instead of taking the winding path, you try a rope that breaks halfway up. That's the risk. Over centuries, cultures saw both the sacred and the dangerous sides of this substance. In rituals, it might symbolize purification or release, but without balance, it anchors the spirit in the mundane. It becomes less about enlightenment and more about escapism. And that fine line between symbolism and trap is where most people stumble, setting the stage for a much deeper discussion. Alcohol, for many, starts as a friend in moments of celebration, but spiritually, it often becomes a quiet thief. It slowly lowers one's vibration, clouding mental clarity and emotional stability. Spirituality thrives on presence, but alcohol trades presence for distraction. It doesn't just blur vision, it blurs connection with higher states of consciousness. The pitfalls of alcohol are subtle at first. People believe they are just relaxing or loosening up, but they are unknowingly building barriers to deeper awareness. Practices like meditation or prayer demand a clear mind, yet alcohol numbs the very tool the mind it should sharpen. Over time, this detachment can feel normal, which is perhaps the most dangerous effect of all. And then there's the ancient perspective. Many traditions point to alcohol as a disruptor of the third eye. Whether or not one takes this literally, the symbolism of alcohol here is clear. It blocks perception, insight, and intuition. This isn't just poetic language, it mirrors the real consequences of depending on fleeting pleasures to navigate life. And that sets the stage for a fascinating comparison with something much more powerful. Great spiritual teachers, from Osho to Yogananda, warned about the pitfalls of alcohol. Not because they hated joy, but because they understood the trap of fleeting pleasures, that warm rush after a drink. It's like renting happiness. Spirituality, on the other hand, is about building a home for it brick by brick. One fades overnight, the other grows stronger over time. Fleeting pleasures are tempting because they deliver instant results. But think about it. That same money and energy spent on drinks could be invested in books, retreats, or even a quiet meditation practice. Imagine swapping a night of hangovers for a morning of clarity. Suddenly, the trade doesn't feel so equal anymore. That's where the choice becomes powerful. Real spiritual pursuit offers a kind of joy that doesn't need refilling. Unlike alcohol, which demands the next round, spirituality keeps deepening with practice. The symbolism of alcohol here becomes even clearer. It's a temporary ladder to a false high, while the true climb is steady, demanding, but ultimately transformative. And that naturally leads us to the next big question. At some point, everyone reaches a crossroads: keep chasing fleeting pleasures, or step into a deeper kind of freedom. Spirituality doesn't demand perfection, it invites curiosity. The pitfalls of alcohol aren't just moral warnings, they're reminders that every choice shapes the spirit. Small shifts in daily life can create powerful ripples over time. Transformation rarely begins with grand gestures. It starts with tiny, consistent acts: choosing an evening walk over another drink, swapping a night out for a quiet journal session. These aren't restrictions, they're investments in self. And as each step builds, the spiritual effects become undeniable. And here's the interesting part. By making these choices, people don't just transform themselves, they become quiet examples for others. Their presence starts to feel different, lighter, more grounded, and that opens the door to an even bigger conversation about what true spiritual freedom can look like. So now the question is, will you keep trading your long-term spiritual clarity for fleeting pleasures, or will you start taking back control of your own energy? Remember, every small conscious choice shapes your path, whether it's saying no to that extra glass or choosing a habit that truly nourishes you. Think about it. What practices could you replace alcohol with that would lift your spirit instead of dulling it? Meditation, journaling, even surrounding yourself with people who radiate presence and positivity can change everything. Your journey doesn't have to be just has to start. If this conversation sparked something in you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know your perspective. And if you want to keep exploring these deep insights, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. There's so much more to uncover, and your transformation might just inspire someone else to begin theirs.